Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I'm your host, Brazil 201. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about Stranger Things, Tales from 85. And I have to say, first of all, obviously, it's very clear that this show is not canon to the actual show. And I think people just got accepted. If Stranger Things is going to do multiversal storytelling, fine, whatever. But just because of how we're full spoilers, by the way, there's no way to talk about the show without saying spoilers. So, first, this show takes place 2 weeks after the end of season 2, which was the winter formal thing where Mike and Elle dance and Dustin dances with Nancy and all the other shit, right? So this is like January, this is 1985, right? So this is where we are right now. And it's like a massive snowstorm just came to Hawkins, and they're all going to school, but they pick up Elle before they go to school because Elle's still not allowed at school yet. And the idea for the kids to make money is they can use Elle's powers to get rid of the snow. While they're doing that, a upside down land shark monster attacks Dustin and then almost attacks a new kid named Nikki, who is I think she's supposed to be the Stranger Thing kids' age or a year older, but she's like a lesbian with a mohawk or whatever, and her mother is the new science teacher at Hawkins High because the teacher that's in all the seasons that like helps them with understanding interdimensional travel or whatever is on a sabbatical for whatever reason. Which comes to the next part of this is that clearly this show is not canon to the main story because spoilers, the new character Nikki and her mother, they do not die at the end of the show. This is what I was assuming was going to happen, is that because we never see this character in season 3, right? And season 3 is the summer season where they're at the mall, and then maybe I kind of can't even remember season 4. It's like 2 years after, I guess. Season 3, maybe, who the fuck knows? Stranger Things, isn't really good with their time. But this crazy fucking adventure happened, and it feels like what they wanted to do in the season 5 finale in the live action show, they did in the cartoon version of the show, because there's an epic battle that happens in the final episode where there's a lot of plant demigorgons and a super demigorgon monster that looks like the monster they fight. They looks like the mind flayer they fight, right? But this is like a plant version. And Nikki is like basically Jimmy Neutron and creates a bunch of these like weapons, which were, by the way, much better weapons than they use in the season 5 finale, right? To fight these plant monsters. And she creates a light gun and all of it. And Elle in this show seems to have has as good grasp on her powers as she does in season 5. And this is the issue. The kids seem like they're all more friends in this show than they've ever did in the final 2 seasons for whatever reason. Like, the way the show ends, it's clear that we're gonna get either another season of this before the mall season happens, because we know that after the mall season, what is it? Hopper, quote unquote dies, but he's not dead. He's really in Russia or whatever. And Ellen, whatever, they move to LA. So there's not really a lot of wiggle room to go in this, because you still have to like explain why Nikki never appeared in the live action one. Because by the way, she fits in perfectly with the group. Just I don't have any complaint on the Nikki character. I enjoyed the whole land shark eating the bullies, and that the bullies are traumatized from doing it, and there's a winter carnival thing. And we know Mike, no, yeah, is it? No, wait, Mike, Finn, Will? No, we know Will is gay. Yeah, we know Will is gay, but it seems like Will is kind of interested in Nikki, but Nikki, we can tell, is also gay because of the mohawk. So this is like a very confusing situation on this. Um, Nancy and Steve are each are only in one episode for 5 minutes, and Steve is chased by one of the plant monsters. So it seems like, oh, okay, Steve is gonna like, be the adult who drives them around or whatever after he almost gets attacked. Nancy helps because Mike accidentally takes a picture of Elle using her powers, and that picture gets sold to like a weird newspaper thing, and Nancy has to do this whole act so they can break into the newspaper thing. But Ella has like a weird understanding of her powers that she never did until season 5 in this show, and how she's able to do everything. Also, the parents are never around, like Hopper. They all fight. They just constantly fight these plant monsters. It's a really fun show to watch. Okay, it is. It's interesting. It's to see how the Max and what is it? Max and Lucas relationship, bluster, and all of the things they're doing. I guess you kind of see how this works. The Mike and Elle romance. Uh, Will seems more talkative in this than he ever did, which is interesting on how this works, because when you see a season 3 where Will is like a loser or whatever with that bad haircut, this is like 5 months before the mall season, and they all still are, interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons. And it's just crazy that if they had this crazy fucking adventure where they fought. By the way, the fight they do this is way more chaotic than the mall monster in season 3, or even technically before Vecna kept fucking shit up in season 4. Like, it is chaotic how many fucking creatures they fight, and how they all eventually become true warriors with these weapons they have. Like, where the fuck are these weapons? If they had these weapons, they would have fucking saved Hawkins years ago. Okay? This is the situation. Fucking snow plant monsters and how it happened. Yeah, so like Nikki's mom is a scientist, and the guy she's fucking also is a scientist, but he owns like a 7-Eleven. That's a thing that happens, and yeah, they kinda oh, yeah. So because she accidentally experimented on the plant monsters, this is what happens. I enjoy it. I thought this was cool. It's a very fun show to watch. The animation is, like, done in that weird, like, version of What If, like, in the Disney shows, and I don't know why, like, this is the type of animation people are doing. What happened to, like, Simpsons, Family Guy style animation, or, like, Dragon Ball Z anime animation? This weird block CGI thing I don't think looks good. Fun story, and it seems kinda humanoid with whatever is happening in a way. It is what it is. Go watch it. I enjoy it. I don't It's clearly just not canon, though.